Hello, we meet again. We meet again, ladies and gentlemen. The Godfather out here with his thought provoking insights. Let's try to make this short. This right here, I feel as though is for all the God lovers out there. By that I mean all the ones that say and believe that God made a way for me. God did this in my life. God gave me this position. God gave me this house. God gave me my family. God did all of these wonderful things for me. Stick with that. Where am I going with this? You might be asking. See, today for some strange reason I found myself thinking about the many that are within the collective who are in positions of power and authority. Who have gotten to a place in their life where they confidently and boldly say, God placed me in this position to serve. Now, as we're all aware, ladies and gentlemen, power is truly a dangerous thing in the wrong hands. Many have always said, with great power comes great responsibility. Hold that thought. As an observer, what I've observed in the collective is people in positions of power abusing this power, that they boldly say, God put me in this position. If it wasn't for God, I will not be here. God, yada, yada, yada. You know, X and O's. But here is why I'm doing this message. Here is why I'm presenting this perspective to the collective to consider. Okay, let's agree that God put you in a position that you're in to lead, protect, and guide His people, His or hers people. You've been in this position of authority for a significant amount of time. Nobody is aware of how you are truly using your power that has been bestowed upon you by the divine. It is only you and the divine that is aware of how you're utilizing this power and authority, or this position of authority that you're currently in. So now today, as I'm going about where the thought came from, I just decided to run with it and play with it in my mind. And this message came about. If you have put yourself in this position, God did this for me, God is doing this for me, God made a way for me, God. Cool. Now then, what if in your position of power that you currently find yourself in, God was to manifest itself in a human form? Stay with me. This is good. It's getting good. Manifest itself in a human form and came to you. You don't know it's God in the flesh. You're completely oblivious to His presence. But the authoritative position that you find yourself in, boldly saying that God placed you in that position to help His people, now He is in your presence in disguise as a regular human being, here for you to serve him or her, to serve him or her, utilizing the power that you say he or she gives you. That was quite a bit, but allow that to just come together. In simpler terms, you're in a position of authority. You said God pretty much put you in this position to serve the people. Nobody know how you have truly been using this power except you and the divine that give you the power. But now to just put it bluntly in your face as to how you have been truly utilizing this power, the divine manifests itself in human form, taking upon a body, be it male or female, presents itself in front of you now to receive service. Here is why this message came about. How have you treated God? Using his or her power that he has divinely given you, using the authoritative position that he or she placed you in, but not knowing that it is God standing before you, pretending to be man. How did you treat him? Yo, I swear, man. What if such a thing was possible? Well, indeed, nothing is impossible. There is but one impossibility on here, and that's between me and the divine to have that discussion with. But yeah, nothing is impossible. But what if, brothers and sisters, going about throughout your life, what if the various individual that you come across could be potentially the divine manifested in the flesh? Somebody that has no relation to you come to you for help, but you're in a position to help them. What if that's the divine that's just putting you to the test to see how you would treat him if you were completely unaware that that was him or her? A lot of light bulbs going off. See, your book, the Bible, damn near every religious concept out here always talks about the moment of creation, where there was nothing, and then from nothing came everything. The answer is clearly right there before us. It's always been right there before us. A child can comprehend that concept. From nothing comes everything. So thus, nothing is everything. And if we perceive God to be everything, or if we perceive this deity that was nothing and then became everything, what's to say that every individual that you interact with is not God in the flesh? What's to say the stranger that you walk by ignoring, it's not God just sitting right there looking at you walking by? What's to say the young male or female that came to you seeking employment, you was in a position to give them that position, but because of your ego, you decided to simply overlook somebody who desperately needed this position? What if that individual was God? What if the homeless gentleman that you walk by feeling as though you are better than them because you got a house, a car, a family, you got your life together? What if that's just God sitting down to see just what you would do? How you would treat him if he was nothing, according to you, because Most of the people that are on the street, you perceive them as nothing in your authoritative position that you say God put you in. What if? A lot of what if. What if God walked amongst men just to behold how they use his or her power, and then sits there and tolerate how they're using his or hers own power against his or hers? Boy, I'm having fun with those words. On some real shit though. Nothing in actuality belongs to anybody in this reality. Power belongs to but one. And that power that is given to you to go about in this reality to create the life that you desire is a gift. How have you been using it? Truly. See, in reality, nobody truly can see everything that each individual does. But there is one that knows everything, sees everything, hears everything, even if the things that you think nobody knows, this one knows it. And if you have a thought that goes against a service, a position of authority that you was in, and this thought goes against that position, this one power knows it. How have you been using that power, that position that you're in? How have you treated the loved ones in your care? How have you loved your wife, your mate, not wife, your mate? How have you taken care of your household? How have you taken care of your kids? How have you taken care of your environment, your community, your neighbor? How have you honored this power? Going back to our topic of discussion, if it was indeed possible, which in my opinion it is indeed possible that God can manifest itself right before you and you will have not one clue. But what if it was possible? Behold, the divine standing right before you, asking you for help. Think back throughout all your life. I'm sure you could think of one person who you felt as where you could feel that divine energy that came to you humbly asking you for help, even though they didn't really need the help. But again, it's a test. How you handling the power that you have been given? How did you handle that situation? How did you treat that soul that was standing before you, asking you for help? You was in the position, you out here. It is God that makes the way. It is God that put me here. It is God that made me a servant, here to serve. Now that deity is right before you. How did you treat him? If we accepted the fact that from nothing comes everything and everything is God, how are you treating God every fucking day? Because every day you're dealing with God. If God is indeed everything, this illusion of duality and all that fun stuff, you could have fun with it. But if your words clearly say that in the beginning there was nothing, and then this God spoke and everything started to pop out of place. So if there was nothing, so come on, man, need I really say it? So again, here's my question. How have you treated God? How have you been treating God? How are you going to continue to treat God? Because again, God is everything. God can manifest itself as a bird, a tree, a person, a place, a thing, whatever, because it's everything. I've witnessed truly a lot of people abusing positions that they are in. Position of power, position where they are there to serve. But because of their ego, because of their traumatic experiences that they have been through, creating this alter ego to make them think that now I'm in a position of power. Now I can abuse others the way I have been abused in the past. Not realizing that you have a responsibility to these people. That's why you are placed in that position. But then again, from the outside looking in, you also see that there are some people who literally are in position of power who have no right to be in these positions, because they don't even, for one, they don't look like a leader. Two, they don't act like a leader. Three, they don't think like a leader. Four, the list goes on. You have a society that literally chooses people to put them in position of leadership based on how likable they are. Not because they can do the job, but because a lot of people like them. For an example, I'm seeing athletes being put in position of leadership to rule over nations. That is an abomination in and of itself. So because you are an athlete, automatically that makes you somebody who could be responsible for a group of people. Quite shameful. People who are unworthy to even lead don't even know the first thing that comes when it means, the first thing that pertain to leadership. The qualities of a leader. They don't possess it. But yet, the world look upon these individuals as, oh, you got a bunch of money. You got a bunch of jewelry on you. You're a performer. You're a celebrity. You have a potential to lead us. Even then, in positions like that you put these people in, they're bold enough to use the Lord's name in vain, stating that God put me in this position. God did this for me. God did that. God made a way. But behind closed doors, they don't give a fuck about the people they have been placed in charge of. And so now I stand before you, placing this question, this insight, this perspective, giving you something to think about, because there are going to be some leaders that are going to watch this. Leaders or people with power that are going to watch this, who are placed in a position where they have a great deal of influence over the masses. Imagine for 1 second, based on how you have been treating the people you're responsible for. What if one of those people that you mistreated, or some you're doing a great job? Again, messages is not for the ones who are out here doing what they're supposed to do. But because the world is in balance right now, and balance is what matters to me. I don't give a fuck about good or bad. What I care about is balance, because good and bad is needed in order for creation to flourish. So my issue is balance. The scale is tilted in one direction a little bit more. So now we gotta get that shit back to normal. And part of that goes to leadership, people in position of power, those who are in position to influence the collective. How have you used your power to influence the collective? Better yet, how have you used your power to influence your own deity that stands before you, to just see how you're going to treat him, her, or it? You wanted to rule in a position. The divine gave you the position. Now you're ruling. The divine said, I'm going to take a human form and go before this motherfucker right here and just see how he or she is going to treat me. Is he going to treat me like an equal? Not because he's in the position that he's in to now look upon me as beneath him. Is he going to look upon me as we are equal because we are one? Just because I'm in this position does not mean I'm better than you. We are one and the same. I'm just simply here to serve you. How can I serve you, my love? Imagine a leader or ruler looking upon all of his people as the deity in the flesh. And then his deity shows up and he says, how can I serve you, my love? That will be something. But unfortunately, we're not quite there yet. Because I highly doubt motherfuckers thinking, how can I serve you, my love? It was more like, what can I get from you? How can I use and abuse you? How can I take advantage of you using this position of authority that I'm in? How can I take from you? My niggas, you better wise up out here, man. Y'all got to understand what you're dealing with out here. What goes around comes around. You have free will to do whatever the fuck you want. This is true. However, there are laws put in place to govern the reality, not man's law. Man really think he got laws, but we'll let him keep having that. There are universal laws put in place to govern creation. You will not do something in this world that goes against another soul and think that you're going to walk away scot-clean. Justice will always be dealt. A little thing called karma. You will be placed in a position to feel exactly how you made that soul feel. Until you understand and learn that what you do to others, you do to yourself, and what you do to self, you do to others. You will continue to deal with the consequences of your action. If you're in a position of authority where you are to lead and guide the various people that are sent to you to lead and guide, then do so as if you are serving God itself. Need I say more? That is what a leader does. That is how a leader moves, because he understands God is everything, everyone, and he or she, this leader now, is no better than any person, place, or thing. His only responsibility is to take care of what the Creator has placed in his or her charge. How are you handling your responsibility that has been placed in your care? And it don't have to be anything big. Your responsibility could be something as simple as the job you're currently doing. How are you doing it? How are you handling it? Your responsibility could also be something as your family. How are you taking care of your family? How have you been taking care of your family? How have you taken care of that wonderful house that you have prayed for all your life? Oh, give me a house. How are you taking care of it? But most important, how are you taking care of your vessel? The one thing that you utilize to move about this reality, without it, you cannot move. This has been placed in your care to take care of. And again, if everything is God, then in a way, this is your deity too. So how are you taking care of your deity? I'm sure we're aware of this, so let me repeat it again. There are those in this reality who take care of their physical home more than they take care of their actual home. I don't want to go too far off of our discussion because, again, that was just a thought that came sitting by and watching an individual in a position of authority misusing their authority in my presence, and then that just came to me. I'm like, what if that person was God in the flesh, and that soul right there who is in that position responsible for that other is now abusing him? What if you were actually dealing with God in that moment? Good luck with that. Have fun. Just me being me, fucking around with some of the thoughts that played in my head. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you've been entertained. Stay tuned for more, because Lord knows I love going places. Love going places. It's fun going places. But the whole point of going places is to bring back things with me that will help bring balance back into the world. Because again, I really don't give a fuck about good or bad. I embrace both of them. There is no such thing as good or bad. It's all relative. But balance is what I need. So thus, all of these places I go and what I bring back is to serve with that. Bring back balance. Tip the scale back the right way. Help me, let's do this. If you're in a position where you have this influence over people, I need that balance back. Honor these souls as if you're dealing with your deity in the flesh. That's how balance is brought back. You can ignore this and keep acting the way you're acting, but then rewind the message to where I was talking about the universal law that governs this reality, and think that you won't get dealt with. Deuces. Love you. We out here.